We are here with Kevin Zak. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
Hi, Paul. I'm good. It's good to see you.
So good to see you. You have so much going on.
Oh,
You're
gosh.
a very busy man.
Well, thank you. It's a first for everything, really.
I love it because I first knew you as an actor.
Yes.
And now you are just like writing so much and directing, and it just feels like such a lovely like career growth and transition for you.
Thank you. It's been really wonderful. Really, really wonderful.
Let's talk about this guy.
Oh, Rob Lake?
Very large head in between us.
That's right.
I just met him a couple weeks ago.
Yes, this is not to scale. His head is normal size. What's normal, though?
Lovely guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Big fan of Broadway.
Yeah, huge.
And he is like a very successful. He literally sawed someone in half in front of me. I was 5 feet from him. I don't know how he did it, and I just I'm one of those people that just can kind of go with that. Like, okay, he did that. Okay, cool. And there she is. And then she got out, and she's fine.
Yeah, she lived. Yeah.
But you are now immersed in this world and this man. So tell me about the world of Rob Lake magic.
Absolutely. Well, Rob, I mean, he's a international touring magician and has had his own show for like 20 years. He's been on America's Got Talent.
Yep.
He's designed illusions for Broadway, for Adele, heard of her, and has just...
And the Death Becomes Her stuff.
Did some Death Becomes Her stuff,
Right.
did some Aladdin stuff, has kind of been, Broadway adjacent, circling, helping, doing some really cool stuff. And this is, his dream is to take his own show to Broadway.
Right.
And he got the Muppets on board. And I can speak for myself and probably Leslie Margarita that we've all been waiting for the Muppets to come to Broadway for 50 years,
Yes. Yeah.
and they've been on Broadway
Ever since they did in the Hollywood movies.
Yes, exactly.
They went to Broadway in the movies.
Of course, yeah. So they're veterans, really. But now we get to see them live on stage 8 times a week at the Broadhurst, and they are there for fun and magic, of course.
Okay.
And helping Rob out with illusions, bringing some of their own illusions. It feels very Muppet Show, variety show now to have Rob and his personality and his bag of tricks, if you will. And then the Muppets bring their comedy and their wackiness and, Gonzo's Canon, things like that. I don't want to give too much away, but it's been a personal dream come true to work with the Muppets and write for the Muppets, and especially Miss Piggy.
Oh, I mean,
the ultimate.
You've met her.
I've met her. I spent all day with her last week. And
wow. What is that like?
I mean, it's Meryl Streep who? I mean, like, that's the pinnacle to me. Like, after this, it's truly all downhill and a fast, steep fall from working with Miss Piggy. I could retire, mentally at least.
Does she have a list of, let's not call them demands, but goals for what she would like to achieve for this Broadway debut?
She is, I think one of the reasons she's had such a long and incredible career is, yes, she's glamour, yes, she's diva, but she is a team player at the same time. She comes from the Muppet Show, which was like scrappy, throwing a show together. Yes, she's the star. Yes, she's the grand finale. So I think you could put all those together and you can I can hint at like, grand finale. Don't want to say that too loudly in here. So she's bringing her star power to the show. She has legitimate star power. When she entered the room, it's like when the Queen enters. Everyone's body posture changes. You're in the presence of a true Hollywood legend.
Can you call her Piggy, or is it always Miss Piggy?
Miss Piggy.
Okay,
for sure. Yeah. I think only really Kermit calls her Piggy.
Yeah, that's what
and that's this.
There's a long history.
There's a long history.
Yeah.
Paul.
So, what are you bringing to the table? How did you get involved in this, and what is your goal?
Well, I met Rob through Death Becomes Her, and he said, "I've got this show. We've got the Muppets, and I need someone to help sort of take my touring successful show and sort of sprinkle the Muppets throughout and get them to have this cohesive vision for the whole show." And so I'm helping Fozzie with some jokes, and I'm writing when the Muppets are coming in and help sort of take his usual show and turn it into sort of Muppet magic show, if you will. So it's been, I never thought that I would write on Broadway. Now I'm going to start crying, but at all, let alone for the Muppets.
Yeah.
And to be able to be there and be present to bring these iconic Hollywood staples to the Broadway stage it's not lost on me. And like anything I've done, the only thing that registers to people I grew up with so far has been Miss Piggy, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I truly can't even, it's also been such a fast process. You know how it is when a show gets a theater, it's time to go. We're going. So it's been like, you don't have a second to be like really taken in, which I think is sometimes a good thing. It's more like just, there's a bunch of work to do and it's a great team. It's a great environment. And we start previews a week from tomorrow, which is nuts.
Yeah, I got to interview Kermit the Frog, and it was, a dream come true. My whole life led up to that moment. I can retire. I can retire now. I won't, but I could.
Thank goodness.
But it's interesting because in one way you see how it's happening. You see behind the magic, but you still get lost in the magic, right?
Yep. That's 1000% it. It is just, it's Kermit.
Yeah.
It is the people you grew up, the characters and the creatures you grew up watching in the Muppet movie or Muppet Christmas Carol, which was a staple in my household every year, 5 times a Christmas season. I'll watch that, So there's the nostalgia all out of it, but there's also just, you're starstruck. It's truly starstruck when you see it. They're just so beloved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously Miss Piggy, huge inspiration. Also Lindsay Lohan. This is your 2025.
That's right.
Your play, Ginger Twinsies,
yes,
that you wrote and directed. It's actually finishing its final run. It had a great run off-Broadway at the iconic Orpheum Theater.
I love
What's it like
theater.
Going to the Orpheum Theater to see your show and have your name? That's where Little Shop of Horrors play. You know that.
Yes. Yeah. The Orpheum, I am deeply, deeply in love with that theater and everything about it. Even the marquee, it's like one of the last non-digital marquees in the city. And I just think there's something when you go to that theater, you kind of feel transported in time a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you said, Little Shop of Horrors was their stomp, of course, but also like B. Arthur made her New York play debut there, as so did Eileen Brennan, did Little Mary Sunshine there for like 3 years in the early 50s or something. So just the history of that theater is incredible, and this cast is sensational. And my lead producers, Preston Whiteway, Jenny Steingart, and Mandy Hackett, put a ton of blind faith in me to write and direct it. And I couldn't have been better supported by every angle, baseline, general management, my design team, which is like, they basically stacked a bunch of Tony Awards in front of me. It's like Beowulf and Bradley King and like all these incredible designers and Jesse Robb doing the choreography. So
who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
Who is he?
I'm married to him.
And you worked on Water for Elephants.
And you worked on Water for Elephants and Les Mis and all these. And so it's been that Ginger Twinsies has been an unbelievable dream come true, and we're entirely sold out for this last week. And Elaine Hendricks, who was the original Meredith Blake, is one of our producers. So I could say in 2025, I brought both Meredith Blake and Miss Piggy to the New York stage. Just powerful blondes.
You mentioned Stomp, and you actually spoof Stomp in this show. This show, I would actually love to see like a document of all the references because it is jam-packed with stuff. And the interesting thing was you actually invited me to a reading of it early on. I don't know the movie.
You don't?
No, I know the original Parent Trap.
Haley
I'm a
Mills.
little too old to have fallen in love with the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap, and so I was nervous about seeing it and seeing the final production. But it's amazing that it's a spoof of a specific movie, but it's really hilarious.
Thank you.
Without knowing anything.
Yeah,
that's a real gift.
I
because
really appreciate that.
Packed it with oh my God, and the talent and the hijinks.
We have about 86 references to other film and TV shows, and it's not just all of them came organically from the Lohan Parent Trap. Like nothing, I didn't just throw anything in for the sake of getting a laugh. Like the Mortal Kombat sequence, in the movie it was fencing, we made it Mortal Kombat, but those two characters they're playing from Mortal Kombat are the long lost twins in the Mortal Kombat universe. So it's like, of course, it's like, how niche can you get? But at the same time, the cast and everyone, like the amount of, they brought their A game every day to rehearsal, and like people like Anissa Folds and Russell Daniels as the twins.
So good.
I cannot even describe the chemistry between them, and they didn't know each other before this show. And the minute they met, it was like they had been touring vaudeville together as like the craziest serial killer clowns on Earth. And I could just go through our 8 people on stage, and our 3 understudies are all so brilliant, and our everyone at the theater, the people at the box office, Jordan who does the merch, like I am going to be holding on to the Orpheum this week like it's my firstborn. Like they're going to have to wrestle it from me at the end of the week.
What is your dream for Ginger Twinsies? I mean, do you want to see? I mean, I can't imagine. I feel like at some point in the future, it'd be great to go see like a community theater production of it, right?
That would be
a summer theater camp.
See how they do their giant hat. But yeah, no, we filmed it this past weekend. Cool. Saturday night was a blast, and we've got some great interest from other markets and locations. Good. You know, the dream, of course, is London. I think they would just, you know, love they love this kind of farce spoof parody over there. So it's definitely not the end, and there might be a moment where we bring it, you know, back to New York in some sort of fashion, because the audiences have been absolutely wild. I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda has been twice. So
nice.
I hear Hamilton's great. I should probably check that out now that he's such a fan of mine. But the response has just been. I'll start crying because it is just. But I have to give it all to the support I had making it from my producers and the cast and general management and casting. And it really is. It takes a village, as Hillary Clinton once said.
What a great segue, by the way, because my next topic, I first saw you like a decade ago at New World Stages. You were in Clinton the Musical.
That's right.
The name? And you were Ken Starr.
I was, yes.
And you were wearing like a harness. You were wearing very little in one of your numbers, not throughout the whole show, but you were Ken Starr.
Yes.
You were the villain, Boo Hiss, of the piece.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I mean, it was like a real, like,
it was a special
you got
time.
a nominate. Did you get a Lortel?
I got a Lucille Lortel nomination.
We love that. That's the highest honor off Broadway.
Yeah.
So it's incredible for me, and you know, you see someone in a great show off Broadway, and it ran for a couple months, right? But you got a lot of attention for it, and you were very, very, very funny.
Thank you.
And then, you know, you've done a lot of acting work. It led to a lot of acting work, ensemble work, out of town work, and what's really incredible is I started noticing you like on social media, like your Instagram. Is hilarious.
Thank you. It was you know, that the pandemic, that age-old tale. I mean, it was, you know, we all were without, our work disappeared.
Yeah.
For who knew how long. And so, like, that's when I realized I have no other practical skills, Paul. I can't take tests.
Or do you?
Well, because Instagram. But
because it turns out you're a very funny man.
Thank you.
And you had a very funny, like, take on whatever was happening in the moment.
Yeah. And it took off in the pandemic, and luckily, this is going to sound insane, but Nicole Kidman found it, and she started sharing it, and so it got more attention and whatnot. And
that's a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah, she started reposting because I was doing a lot of Nicole Kidman memes about her wigs and her coats and the undoing, and she got a kick out of it, which was great. And so Nicole, thank you for increasing my. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Increasing the bandwidth of all that, and it just. It kind of snowballed from there, and you know, when things are born out of necessity sometimes, when your phone's not ringing, you got to put yourself out there yourself. Yeah. And that's kind of what I did with Ginger Twinsies, is I did just a straight reading of the screenplay during the writers and actors strikes with Ira Madison and Jeffrey Self as the twins, and we just read the actual movie, and it got all these extra laughs because of the way we cast it and things, and then I called Preston Whiteway, and I said, I think I'm going to turn this into like a spoof or a send-up. And, you know, we put it out there, and luckily Jenny and Mandy came, and like Mandy, like you, had never seen the movie and just fell in love with it. So I'm extraordinarily lucky with you know, just it's people you know sometimes that are just on your side. And they're like, yeah, I'm game. Let's just give it a whirl. And if other people glob on, great. If not, we tried. And, you know, it's something that mainly before the pandemic, I was in my 20s. And you just don't, at least me personally, like you just don't have the wherewithal sometimes, or the education of like, you're just following that carrot in front of you, whether it's Broadway or television. You're just like, this is what's kind of feeding me. I'm getting work, I'm getting health insurance. And you know, but the itch that is still in the back of your mind of like, well, what if I did something really wacky or off the charts or not mainstream? and that's where I've honestly found a lot of happiness and a lot of creativity and joy, and
it brought you Miss Piggy.
And it brought me Miss Piggy.
I mean, it literally led to this new career.
Piggy, yes.
It led to a new career.
And the whole Muppet team from Disney has been just so like welcoming. Like they have their people. They have you know, and and Rob thankfully brought me along. He said, "This is the guy I'd like to work with the Muppet section." They're like, "Great, come on in." And it was just overwhelming in such a great way. So I hope everyone loves the show and comes to see it because at the Broadhurst Theater.
Season.
That's right.
Yes.
Very famous theater. Danson was there.
Oh, I mean, so many. Don't get me started on the Broadhurst.
It's a gorgeous.
We could spend all day here.
We're two broads talking about the Broadhurst.
I do also want to say you have a lot of other writing projects. I'm sure you have all sorts of notes in your phone on different projects. But you, and I don't know which ones you want to talk about, but you have a lot of things, and I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of projects from you in the future. But I do know that you mentioned Nicole Kidman. You actually, last year, you premiered, right?
Yes, it's called A Kidman Carol.
Right.
The short...
What's the full title?
It's A Kidman Carol, or A Gay Dementia on Australian Dames. It is about Hollywood Scrooge. Cate Blanchett is visited by 3 ghosts of Nicole Kidman in order to get into the spirit of awards season. And we did a workshop production of it out of town in the Alleyway Theater in Buffalo, which is where I grew up. And the Alleyway Theater is this amazing theater in Buffalo. It's been there for 40 or 50 years. And they do their Christmas carols and their main stage things, but they've also just done experimental work in Buffalo. And Chris Hanley's the artistic director there, and I've known him for years. And he said, if you ever want to try something, let's do it. And I said, I got this wacky idea, and he did it. And Jason Michael Snow, Broadway's Jason Michael Snow, and Broadway's Shannon Mullen came to Buffalo to lose some money with me. And we all just kind of got back to why we love theater. And we hired some Buffalo actors who were fabulous. And we put up the show in a week. Wow. And we did the first night, and then the rest of the run was sold out, and we extended because, you know, I think there's a global need for some wacky comedy.
Sure.
And even in, you know, Buffalo, they're like starving for it too. And it's not the end of that show. I can't say anything right this second, but hopefully New York audiences will be able to see it. And then eventually, Kate and Nicole will do it. I'm sure they'll do it.
Has Nicole, she knows about it?
I don't think she knows about that. No. Maybe. Who knows?
What about Lohan? Did she ever have any reaction to...
Oh my gosh. So,
Ginger Twinsies?
Lindsay Lohan, we have 7 shows left. What are you waiting for?
Or maybe 5 by the time this interview runs.
She knows all about it. She has said she wants to come. Elaine Hendricks has... We've had so many people. She knows... She's being texted from all sides, and she knows how to get to us. She just has to come. And it's a show, as you know, that not only sends love to Parent Trap, but Mean Girls, and Freakier Friday and Freaky Friday. Yeah. It's a whole catalog of Lindsay praise because she is culture in a way. So I hope she makes it down. If not, she knows all about it, and she's mentioned it on red carpets when she talks about Elaine, because they were both in Freakier Friday this summer, and Elaine Hendricks is having quite the year, too. I mean,
I know.
Freakier Friday, Ginger Twinsies, Dancing with the Stars, and Romeo and Michelle is on stage, too, which is another Elaine Hendricks movie.
Wow.
So we're all wonderfully trapped in the Lohan zeitgeist, and I hope it never ends.
I hope it never ends for you as well. And so everybody run down to the Orpheum Theater, the historic Orpheum Theater, and Rob Lake Magic at the Broadhurst Theater.
Starting October 28th,
I can't wait.
Oh, you have to be in it. Will you be in it?
What,
there's a celebrity guest spot.
What?
To do a trick with... Oh, should I be saying this? No, you can cut this. But there's a moment you can go on stage and do a trick with Kermit. Surprise!
I don't know if that was an invite, but that was terrifying.
We can cut that part.
Okay, no sawing, no...
No sawing, just card tricks. With Kermit, though. You got it, Paul. You got to do it. You got it. That's a yes. You heard the yes, right? Heard the yes?
Stay tuned.
Yes. You can.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It was so great to see you, and I love all of this.
This is so
more
special
Kevin
to be
Zak
here
in the world. I love it.
Oh, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.